Am I audible?
Yes.
So do you remember what we discussed in the last class?
So we discussed about the half-bridge converters.
Yeah. So we were discussing about the half-bridge converter, especially we were discussing about the average modeling for an ideal switch. So we're
Yes.
taken an ideal switch condition and we are trying to derive some equations, especially for average modeling. We are trying to get an average model equation for that. So we did already see in the switch level equations. If you do recollect, we have written in terms of SW1 and SW4, and we got the power also in terms of switch level equations. Now we are trying to get it into average form. So just like if you do recollect in a power electrons also, we do like this kind of approach for a buck converter or boost converter. First, we'll try to get a switching instance of switch model, and then we'll do for an average model too, right? The same approach we are following here. Yeah. Now, so in the last class, when we start the average model, we have written the dynamic equation for dynamic equation we have written. If you do recollect, that is LdI by dt is equal, plus Ri is equal to Vt minus Vs. You do recollect, if you do recollect the figure, I'll just copy this figure.
Sir,
Yes.
so just one thing, sir. That Vt minus Vs, why is it not Vs minus Vt? Can you just show from the diagram once?
Yeah, that's what I'm taking here.
Yes, sir.
So if you see here in the figure, if I say the current is flowing this way, if I say the power is flowing like this, if I write a KVL, how do I write it?
The Vt minus Vs.
So that's why we get a Vt minus Vs.
Okay.
Because our current direction is in this.
Yes,
I.
sir. Got it, sir.
Yeah. So because the current direction is like this, so we assume this has a source and this has some other point. So if I want to see the current between this Vt minus Vs, so Vt and Vs, we'll write Vt minus Vs by Ls plus R. So for this only we are writing differential equations instead of Laplacian equation. So we got this. And here we are seeing for an Fourier expansion. Why did we go for Fourier expansion, for a series expansion? Because what we get is a pulsed waveform. If you do recollect, we get a pulsed waveform in VDC, isn't it?
To get it into sine.
Yeah, to get it into the sine forms, we try to expand it into the Fourier series. When we do it in the Fourier series, we have AH cos h over omega st and BH sin h omega st. These are the two equations what we get. And omega s is a switching frequency. You should remember omega s is not a nominal frequency or a modulating frequency. Rather, it is a switching frequency. It depends on switching frequency only. And now we have this AH. These are constants. AH and BH are constants. So the constants of AH and BH can also be written in this form in terms of switching frequency. This is also from Fourier series only we get this direct expression. Right, from Fourier series we directly get this expression. So I'm writing directly from this Fourier series from the test book. I think you can also recollect from it. So from the series Fourier series expansion. Now, if you see this expression, let me name it as expression 1. If you see this expression 1, and if I substitute it in, sorry, let me make it this as expression 1 and this as expression 2. If I substitute this expression 2 in expression 1, what can I write? LdI by dt plus Ri is equal to, so instead of Vt, I write this entire equation. 1 by tau s, 0 to tau s, Vt tau d tau minus Vs. Vs anyways, it's a DC quantity, so it won't be a big problem.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you please explain why you are representing that current switch as a current independent and this is voltage independent in the half-bridge converter?
See, this is the amount of current flowing through this. are we concerned about the current flowing through this, or are we concerned about the voltage across this?
No, sir. Why we are representing, if as it is a switch, is there any problem, or it is instead of switch? Why we are representing that instead of?
Because to show the current flow. That's it. Only to show the current flow.
Oh, okay, sir.
Only to show the current flow. Because if I don't represent as a current, what does it mean? If I represent in the switch, it is like you will see it as either open circuit or short circuit, isn't it? So I'm taking an
Okay, sir.
average value as a current IP for
Oh.
for our cycle. The average
Yes.
current is IP. That's what we have written, right? Average current,
Yes.
IP and IN. So I'm representing that amount of current only. So average value, what we got, not average value, that instantaneous switch values, what we are getting over a cycle. So
Okay,
that
sir.
I represented as IP and IN. And here what we see is a terminal voltage. So the terminal voltage will be in terms of voltage only. So that's
Yes,
why
sir.
this is voltage here. Is that clear?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So now, again, the question comes, why Vs is a DC? Why we consider Vs as a DC quantity here? Can anyone say? We discussed that in last class also. Tell me. Why we are saying that Vs as a DC here?
Sir, ripple free, as we said.
Due to high inductance.
High inductance.
Sir,
And any other-
when compared to the reference signal, the frequency is very less.
Yes, that's the answer, which I'm expecting here. Reason being, we are talking about a switching instant. As you do recollect, we said as in the last class. So if you see this sine waveform from the switching instant, which is in a 10 times or 100 times faster compared to your modulating signal. So for that reference, it looks like more or less like a DC, isn't it? At that, we are looking only in the switching cycle only. We are not looking for the entire sine waveform. We are looking only for a one switching cycle. You getting my point? All of you?
Yes, sir.
So that's the reason why we assume it as a DC. So the other factors what we are saying about because of the ripple free and other things, that happens maybe in a low high frequency, that is true. High frequency, that is true, because all the frequency like all the harmonics will be eliminated, or all these things will be valid. But why the reason is valid is mainly because we are talking only about the switching cycle. We are not talking about the entire power frequency or a 50 Hz frequency. We are not talking about that cycle, that level of frequency. We are talking about the very highest frequency levels, maybe a 5,000 Hz or 10,000 Hz, that frequency level we are talking about. So during that instant, even 50 Hz cycle looks like a constant DC, isn't it? At that switch level instant. You're getting my point, all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sin H omega ST. Is it correct equation? H is equal to 1 to infinity H. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So once we have written this expression, what does this expression indicates? What does this expression indicate? Can I say this expression as low pass filter with output being I? Can I say this? What do you say? Is this statement valid? I need some feedback from your side too. Is this statement looks familiar, or is this statement looks weird? At least something weird. If it looks weird, tell me why.
Yes, sir. Weird.
Okay. So let's go back and let's write it in a very simple form. Can I write this expression? Ls this into Ls plus R I of S. Can I write like
Yes.
this?
Yes, sir.
Right side. Left side, whatever it may be. Some V of S, Vt of S minus Vs of S. Can I write like this? If I take Is, I get some Vt of S minus Vs of S divided by Ls plus R. So input is this. This is your system and this is your output. Tell me, what is your system is acting like? Your input is, this is input.
Yes, sir. Low pass filter.
This is system. This is output. How it behaves now? Say, are you able to understand what I'm trying to say?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's clear, right? So I can say like this as a low pass filter with output being high. So this statement is valid for this system. This expression
Yes.
also.
Yes.
Irrespective of what inputs are, irrespective of what inputs are. Maybe input may have some harmonics or whatever it may be. I'm saying system itself is a low pass filter because we have 1 by Ls plus R. You know that 1 by, let's say if I have omega by S plus omega, the transfer function of this character, how does it behave? The gain like this or like this? How it is behaves? This transfer function. Like this or this? This one or this one? How does it behave? 1 and 2?
First, one.
One, sir.
One.
So what is this
First one, sir.
behavior is? Is it a low pass filter?
Yes, sir.
So isn't it this system is the same way? Maybe gain, maybe omega, the omega which is there on top might be something else. Gain might be something else. But we have this kind of transfer function downside. If I have other way, like if I have S plus S by S plus omega, then this behaves as like this, isn't it? High pass filter. So we don't have any S term in the numerator. What we have is we have some constant term in the numerator. It indicates a low pass filter. I think simple signals and systems, those who are familiar with the topic. Simple networks also we might have studied. You might also study this Laplace transform in networks also. Or controls also.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Yeah. All of you, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, if anyone has any issues, any doubts in between, immediately you ask it. So that if you clarify now itself, it will be easy for your future also. Future other
Yes,
than
sir.
this course.
So 1 by Ls plus R is generally for half, like low pass filter, right?
1 by Ls plus R is generally a low pass filter.
Yes.
And it's a low pass filter.
Yes, got it.
So let me, okay. Now you've understood this statement is right. So I'm double clicking on it. So now with this statement, and if I say that these are the harmonic quantities, these are all nothing but harmonics. Harmonics as in it has some high frequency components. Like it may have some H is equal to 1. If I have H is equal to 1, what does it mean? I have a frequency of omega S. If I have H is equal to 2, I have a more than that. If I have H is equal to 3, I have more than that. That frequency components I have, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it includes all the harmonic components. It includes all the harmonic components in terms of omega S, isn't it? So now
Yes.
these harmonics will get averaged out because we are talking about filtering process. This is happening filter. This Ls plus R is system itself is a filter. So this get averaged out. This harmonics will get filtered out. High frequency, especially mostly high frequency components will get filtered out. So what frequency components filters out? What frequency components get filtered out?
Like, sir, 5.
Fifth harmonic.
7.
No, you can't say that harmonic count. Rather, you need
Half
to
a
say in
cut-off
terms of time
frequency.
constant. What is the time constant of the system? If you write st plus 1, 1 by st plus 1, what is the time constant of the system?
T, sir. L by R. L by
L by R.
R by L or L by R, whatever you say. Okay, time constant is L by R. Times is, tau is I'm writing it. It is L by R. That implies omega is, what is the cutoff frequency?
R by L.
Yeah. So anything greater than any frequency, omega 6 is equal to R by L. That is any
R by
frequency.
2 pi R.
Any frequency. No, it's R by L. Why it is R by 2 pi? It is not R by 2 pi L, but it's R by L. Just to remember. Any frequency greater than this, what happens? Will that filtered out? Will they have a lower amplitude or lower magnitude? Attenuation will there. Amplitude in the sense they get attenuated. Do you all agree on that?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. So any frequency greater than this will be attenuated. So we can't say directly whether it is 5th harmonic, 7th harmonic here. We should say in terms of time constant. Yeah. So now, if you see one more characteristics of the system, I'm talking about system, not signals. Is the system linear or non-linear? Just be careful. We already written the system equation here. Is the system a linear system or non-linear system?
Linear system,
No.
sir.
Linear system.
Non-linear system.
It's undoubtedly linear system. I again saying I'm talking about only system. Inputs may be non-linear. I'm talking about system, right? System is nothing but 1 by LS plus R. This is system. We are written here. If you say 1 by LS plus R, is it linear or non-linear?
Linear.
Linear.
Linear, sir.
Linear. So if you have some other non-linear quantities, okay, can someone tell me? So these are all interview questions. If you go for any interview in future also, you may expect this question. If someone returns like this, LC S square, LRS plus RS, yeah, some R. Let's say you have like this. Is this system linear or non-linear? This is system.
So linear, sir.
Yeah. Why it is linear even though if I have S square?
So we define transfer function in a frequency domain for linear systems.
I did not let that. Can it be more elaborated?
Sir, if a system is a transfer function in Laplace domain is defined for only linear systems. So we are
Okay,
writing in a Laplace domain, in frequency domain we are writing.
Okay.
So we are characterizing a system in a frequency domain. So that system should be a linear one.
Okay. Laplace transform is valid only for linear systems.
Transfer function, Laplace domains.
Laplace domain. That's what my question is. Laplace transform is only valid for linear systems. I doubt if this statement is true or not.
Sir, I think transfer function is only valid.
Transfer function is valid for linear systems.
So you don't have nonlinear transfer functions. You might have studied linear transfer functions only, but it doesn't mean that nonlinear transfer function doesn't exist. Isn't it? Okay. Do you remember any nonlinear systems? Do you know any nonlinear system?
Diode circuit.
Diode circuits. Okay. Yeah. So diode circuits is nonlinear, so it doesn't exist. Yeah. So further systems, can we create a transfer function model? Yeah. Others you say like this. Is E power T a linear system or nonlinear system? If I have a system like E power T.
It's a linear
Non-linear, sir.
Non-linear system.
Do we have a transfer function for this?
Yes, sir.
So we can represent
sir.
it in Laplace.
Yeah. So after representing in a Laplace, will it become linear or non-linear?
Non-linear, sir, because it's in this case the Fourier transform does not exist. We can make Laplace, but this this does not converge to, so we cannot give it a
This is
Fourier
the
transform.
transfer function for
Only
equal
in
pairs.
network signal only eligible. In network signals.
Honestly, 1 by s plus 1. Here it is non-linear, and here it is linear. Now, how do you tell which is system? The system is non-linear or linear? Here it is non-linear, right?
Sir, that signal is non-linear, sir. System is linear only.
Yeah. So I think very few got an idea about what is system and what is signals here. So here system is linear, signal is non-linear. So the same way, what we are talking here, the signal is non-linear, system is linear. You're getting my point, all of you? Maybe the signal the output of the system is non-linear, but system entirely is a linear system. You're getting, all of you, or did I confuse more? So there is a difference between signals and systems. It's a subject also, but still there is a difference between signals and systems. You all agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you mean that
Yes, sir.
the third equation is a linear system, but
Yeah. Linear system, but signal is non-linear.
signal is non-linear. Okay.
Yeah, because we have cos and sine, which are
Yes, we
non-linear.
have cos and sine. Yes.
Yeah, so that's simple. So system is linear. Is it clear, all of you?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, since system is linear, can I apply for any linear systems? I can apply superposition theorem. Can I apply superposition theorem here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, since we are talking about system, so I'm applying superposition theorem. So let me do it into two parts. One is a DC part, another one is a non-DC, like harmonics part, or you can say it is ripple part. Okay. So in DC part, what do I consider is I only consider the DC quantity. Here, this is DC, this is DC, right? These two are DC quantities. This is DC, first one is DC, and second is also DC. Do you agree on that? This first part is DC, you agree on that? From a Fourier series expansion?
Yes, sir. Average.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Average.
And this is ripple. Ripple component and DC component. So what I'll do is I'll write the equation for the same when only DC component exists and when only AC component exists, the ripple component exists. Okay, for DC component, L d I bar indicates DC, okay, dt R I bar is equal to 1 by Ts 0 to Ts Vt of tau d tau minus Vs. This is the DC part. And applying superposition. On 3, system is linear. And second part, we have ripple component. So ripple, I give it as a sign symbol. That is tilde, what we say it in language. Tilde is equal to, the input will be h is equal to 1 to infinite ah cos h omega st plus bh sin h omega st. Okay. We got two equations, two expressions. So the net current I dc plus I tilde. So all these are time dependent again. I mean, I did not write it, but still they are time dependent because we are talking about time differentiation. Any doubts here?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now tell me, if there are any harmonics, if all the harmonics are above R by L, if all the harmonics are above R by L, then what will be the current?
Yes, sir, only the first one.
Omega S is adequately large. That is larger than omega 6 R by L. If this is valid, then tell me.
Ripple current
Omega S
0.
is
0.
yeah. Ripple current in this component will be 0.
0, yes, sir.
So IT, I can approximately say that I by T. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the assumption initially what we made, like DC side current, like current is almost DC or ripple free. This is valid if the conditions are this valid. Like if I say that omega S is significantly large.
Sir,
correct?
omega system means higher cutoff frequency.
Omega
low
system
pass
is
filter.
R by L. That's it. Simple R by L.
That means a higher cutoff frequency of low pass filter, na?
Yeah, cutoff frequency for the low pass.
Okay, got it.
So this indicates the cutoff frequency, isn't it? From the transfer function, you can directly write. If I have a
Yes.
transfer function SL plus R, so you can write it. This is transfer function. But this omega, what is omega? R by L, isn't it?
Sir.
Yeah. So tell me now, what should be the averaging equation? The averaging signal, which we are talking here, where it is, yeah, from 0 to tau, Ts, Vt tau, d tau, minus Vs, which we have here, is itself a time-dependent signal. Isn't it? By varying time, it does varies.
Yes, sir.
Now, you should remember one thing. All this done by assuming that duty is more or less same. For a longer variation system, for long system, is the duty more or less same? Or like is that modulating signal, like on time and off time, is it same for every time?
Here we are considering is same, sir. Ideal characteristics.
But on time, off time, like only for one instant, it might be same. But what about for a longer in time, for a longer time?
Sir, it may vary.
Right? So, if modulating signal, what is modulating signal? If we do recollect again, so modulating signal is this signal. This is modulating signal. This is carrier wave, switching wave, whatever you say, you can say that. So this is modulating. So just remember modulating signal. If modulating signal is same, constant, then your all this analysis looks more or less same, fine, right? This analysis looks fine, and we can take it like on time, off time, everything is fixed, and we can directly calculate the average value, isn't it? Average calculation of average value is much easier if modulating signal is same. Signal is constant, then average value is easily calculated. Agree on that?
Yes.
It's nothing but duty times. But if modulating signal itself is time varying, then how do I calculate it? So I should go with the time analysis, time integration analysis. T minus S T, where T is on, you can take it on time or over a time. Can I calculate my average value like this? This is average value information which you might have used for sine wave also. Maybe you might have done it for diode rectifier signals and controls.
Yes, sir.
Where you might have calculating the RMS values and all this using integrated logic. Average value you will calculate like this.
So what is X over here?
X is any signal. I'm saying any signal. It can be voltage also. It can be current also. For any signal, X is any signal. Generalizing the averaging information here. For time varying signal, time varying pulses and time varying modulating signals, your pulses which on time and off time pulses are not constant duty. They are varying time, varying duty.
Okay.
Okay. Since modulating signal is time varying, so you can't use directly the duty information to calculate your average value. You can't say that. You can't say like this. Say you only say V out is equal to duty times of V in for a buck converter. Why do you say like this? Because your there it is more or less
Not
constant.
time varying.
Yeah, it's a time varying constant duty you have, so that's why it is valid. But if it is time varying, then there is no. The average value is no longer valid. Rather, it should be calculated from using integration bar. That's what I'm trying to say here. And why I'm saying this is because our modulating signal, generically, what we use it in a sinusoidal PWM is sine wave, which is time varying. You all agree on that, right?
Yes.
Sinusoidal
Yes, sir.
PWM, we use sine wave. So that's why the switching instance, the switching on time and off time will not be a constant value. Rather, it varies. It varies. So the switching time of switch SW1 and SW2 will be SW average time writing depends on duty, which is again time dependent. So SW4 and SW4 1 minus T. Can you take this? I have written this from here. So this you are written earlier based on time, on time and off time, right? We have the switching instance. With switching instance, on time and off time, if you know, you can do it. So generally, switching instant of positive cycle, like first switch 1, it is D times. Then what should be the other one? It should be 1 minus T times, isn't it? Because both are complementary in nature. Could you be able to understand this point here?
Yes, sir.
The D is the duty cycle.
D is like a duty cycle.
So, but this is a time varying, right? How can we use?
Yeah, T is also time dependent again.
Okay.
D is not a constant, it's a time dependent.
So, but generally we can't take the duty cycle, but in this case, as duty cycle is time dependent, so we are taking.
Yes.
Okay.
D is just on time and off time. which is time dependent. It keeps changes. So that's what I'm saying. If I have a constant, I can write directly D as a constant value, like 0.5 into V in. V out is equal to. But if it is time varying, let's say if it is time varying of sine t, I can directly write that time varying quantity as a D itself. I represent D as time varying here. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
It's a time varying quantity again, D. Now, to give better understanding, let's let me take a. Could you able to follow? Like all of you could able to follow what I'm trying to say here? Or like,
Yes,
do you
sir.
want much more clarification in this thing?
Yes.
You need much clarification in this, or is it okay?
It is okay.
So if you face anywhere difficult, please let me know so that I'll give a better explanation on that. Yeah. So I think you can see this figure. In this figure, it's nothing but simple figure we have already done multiple times. We have this M. M is a modulating signal. Okay, M is a modulating signal. So if it is a constant, we get accordingly on time and off time is decided, right? Now from peak to peak, from this peak to peak is a, what is the time? It is a switching time constant. Peak to peak is a switching time constant. Now in this, the on time duration is here to here. This is on time duration for a switch 1, and on time duration for switch 2 is this one. This is an on time duration for switch 2, isn't it? So it means they are, since they are in complementary nature, that you take if this M keeps up, moves up and down, the on time and off time will keep moves up and down, isn't it? You all agree on that?
Yes,
If the
sir.
modulating waveform goes up, right?
This waveform M. If M keeps changing up and down, then also the on time and off time will also changes. It means the duty changes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So now if I substitute these expressions, these two expressions, here in the earlier calculations which we did in the red mark, if you do remember, we have written VT in terms of SW and SW4. We have written PDC, PT, everything in terms of SW1 and SW4. So if I substitute those values here in terms of D, can I get VT in terms of D? What I get is,
So here the modulating signal is a DC.
no, it's time varying. DC assumed only for a smaller duration, it is time varying. So this is valid for DC also and also for a time varying also. We are doing it in a very generic fashion. You're getting the point?
So in the previous thing which you had given us, that was an AC, right? Sine wave.
Which one?
This derivation.
This one.
Yes.
See, this is also generic.
Okay.
I've written generic formula. I said you can directly write that into D terms of all those things. Only valid if it is independent of T. If your modulation index is independent of T, and if you have a fixed amount of duration. If T is known, the on time is known, then you can get directly a fixed value. But if it is on time is unknown, then you need to calculate average with respect to integration. That's what I'm trying to say here.
Okay.
On time and off time keeps changes because duty itself is changing. So D here, which you have written, it is also time varying. It is not fixed one. Now, the average value of voltage VT, if you substitute these terms in that, which is nothing but VDC by 2 SW1 and minus VDC by 2 SW4. VDC by 2 SW1 of t minus VDC by 2 SW4 of t. If I substitute these values, what do I get? Substitute it. You should get VDC by 2 2d minus 1. Right?
Yes, sir. Got it.
So you got VT. Similarly, I can get IP bar, that is the average value. It comes as 1 D into I because it's nothing but switching into I. And IN comes as 1 minus D into I. Then PDC comes as, you just need to substitute these SW1 and SW4 values in the previous equations. This comes as VDC by 2 into D into I, right? 2D into 1, so 2D minus 1 into I. VDC will be like this, and PT also will be same because we are considering lossless system. This will also be same.
So can you please explain the 2d minus 1?
Is 2D minus 1.
Yes, sir. In VT expression.
Substitute it, it's simple. VDC by 2 D of t. I'm not writing t of t because inherently it's a function of t. Minus VDC by 2 1 minus t. Minus into minus
Okay,
less.
okay, got it.
It's a simple expression.
Yes, sir.
So P loss will be 0. Anyways, we know that. We assume the lossless system. So this is what you get. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now the duty ratio D generally holds a value, any value between 0 to 1. On time and off time, how do you take it? 0 to 1. What is D? How do you define D?
T1 by total D.
Total, yes. So it varies from 0 to 1, on time 0 or on time totally time TS. Right? So dt will be in the range of 0 to 1. If duty is 0 to 1, then if I define another variable m, which is nothing but 2d minus 1. So what should be the variation in m? Let m is equal to 2d minus 1.
1 to 1. Yes.
So
Sir.
m, if d varies from 0 to 1, then m varies from
minus 1 to
-1 to 1.
minus 1 to 1. So if I create a sine wave which has a deviation from -1 to 1, which has a magnitude plus or minus 1, so somehow I can get a relation of this form. Now, if I write everything in terms of m, instead of d, d is very old-fashioned for at least it is morely concerned with what do you say? DC converters. Let's represent with m. Okay, represent with everything d with m. How do we write? D is nothing but
M plus 1 by 2.
Yeah, substitute in the above equations. What you get is VT happens to be m VDC by 2. IP happens to be 1 plus m by 2 into I. IN happens to be 1 minus m by 2 into I. And PDC happens to be m into VDC by 2 into I. And PT also will be same. Okay. This is your generic formula. And if you see, the same is also valid for 3 phase also. When you do your problem, So based on by varying your magnitude of modulation index, I can control my terminal voltage. If VDC being same, if VDC being constant, by varying modulation index, I can simply get my terminal voltage. Did you get my point here?
Sir, did you take this as an assumption? This mod M as 2D minus 1?
No, it's not assumption. You can directly take it. Yeah, M I taken as 2D minus 1. Yeah, I'm just defining an M variable.
Variable here. Okay.
Yeah, and M another component. Instead of replacing everything in terms of this, I'm naming it as a D. So M decides my on term and off term now.
Yes, sir.
This M is also nothing called as, is also called as modulating index. Modulating index, which decides the magnitude of this modulation. If you see modulating signal is there, right? This magnitude of this modulation signal is decided by M. So why we say it modulating index means it modulates the magnitude of my outputs. If M is equal to 0, what happens to my VT?
0.
0.
If M is equal to plus or minus 0.5, if it's modulating between plus or minus 0.5, what happens to my VT?
Plus minus VDC by 4.
VDC by 4.
So it has oscillation between VDC by 4. Like that, we can get a controlled voltage. So I can control my voltage by controlling my magnitude. Is it clear? This modulation index.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is the role of modulation index which plays. It's a critical role when you do a sinusoidal waveform. I think in the last class, in the last laboratory, I asked you to simulate a three-phase system and check it, right? So this laboratory, maybe today's laboratory, what we do is we try to give a modulating index. And also, if possible, Parkes transformation also we'll do. We do the transformation also DQ to ABC, and we'll try to use it. I'll try to explain it. Even though I don't give much of theory of Parkes transformation in this today's laboratory session, but in the next couple of days, in the next 2 or 3 classes, we will discuss what is Clerk's transformation, Parkes transformation. What is the role of the transformation in terms of ABC and what is the importance of the transformation? We will see it. In this week, we'll try to complete all these basics. Okay. Once you understand all these basics, it will be very much easy for you to simulate a three-phase voltage source converter. First, we'll do it for today. We'll do it simulation as an uncontrolled way. And also, it will be helpful for us designing the controllers also in future. Okay. So that's why try to pay attention to these points and you'll get a better understanding in future, like when you design a controllers and other aspects.
So here by we can control the output voltage by varying M, right?
Modulation, yes.
Okay, okay. So this modulation index is the magnitude of this modulating signal.
Modulating signal magnitude.
Okay.
Okay. This we did it for half bridge converter here, but this is more or less equivalently applicable for also for three-phase signal. Okay. Yeah. So till now, what we did it for everything for ideal conditions, ideal systems, right? Now, shall we check for non-ideal conditions? What happens in the system?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So let me remove this. Non-ideal switch. So in ideal conditions, what are the conditions, assumptions we made?
Power loss in the switch is 0.
What is the power loss in the switch is 0? I did not say that, but I said that feed forward resistance is 0. Like it acts as a short circuit. First one, it acts as a short circuit. It acts as an open circuit when it is blocking state. No trailing currents. No reverse recovery current for diodes. AC current is ripple free. And switching states are instantaneous. Okay, these are the assumptions what we made. In this, I will try to avoid few assumptions. What are those few assumptions? I will take switching on to off is instantaneous, but this is not instantaneous. Okay, first assumption removal is this assumption. I'll remove it. Second one, each transistor and diodes acts as short circuit when conduction. This also I ignore it. I will say it has some drop. IR drop is there. I assume some voltage drop. This is second one, what I try to do, what I want to remove. Third one, blocking state, I will continue with going with the open circuit. If there is if the switch is said to be blocking, so I'll assume that it is open circuit. Okay. And instead of no trailing currents, I assume there is a trailing current. And instead of this, diodes does not have reverse recovery current. I assume that diodes have reverse recovery current. So this assumption is still valid. I keep AC side as a ripple free current for now. Okay. At least for switching instance, obviously, as from the beginning of the discussion, we are saying the same thing, that if the switching frequency is significantly large, and we also proved that if it is greater than R by L, we can assume that it has a ripple free, right? So this assumption, I still continue to keep it. So let me note it down here, the points, what I'm trying to say. First one is, the diodes has a reverse recovery current. What is reverse recovery current?
To switch off diode.
There are some charges in between depletion region, which.
So kind of minority charge carriers, poles.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we assume the switch, that is IGBT or transistor, whatever it is, has tailing currents. What is tailing currents?
Minority charge current.
Yeah, this is minority charge currents. Even though if you turn off the gate impulse, what happens is, because of the voltage available at that collector and emitter points, what happens is there is some amount of current flows, keeps flowing. What is the difference between this and this? Reverse recovery and tailing current. What is the difference you will see? In reverse recovery current, you have this leakage current. Have you heard about leakage current in PN junction diodes?
Yes, sir.
Characteristics, how do the characteristics look like? This is for diode characteristics. How does it look like? Linear or non-linear? How does it look like?
So non-linear.
Non-linear.
Non-linear, sir.
In quadrant 1? Quadrant 1, how does it look?
Till a certain voltage called knee voltage, it will be 0, sir, in forward.
So, yeah. In the quadrant 1, it looks like this. Right? It will look like this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And in quadrant 4, it looks like this. We have some current here. There is some current here in negative current. This portion of current, green one, which I'm making green here. There is some current here. Even if you apply some reverse voltage, there is some little amount of current which is going in the reverse direction. Do we have that current?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That current is called reverse leakage current or reverse recovery current. Even though if you apply some voltage, the current will flow in the reverse direction, negative direction. So in the reverse recovery current, you have some negative current. Whereas in tailing current, you have the same positive direction current only, but the current instantaneously doesn't go to 0, but it has some positive current. You getting my point? What I'm trying to say here?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the difference. Just only to give a better clarity, I'm saying here. So it's all, I think you might have studied this in the switch level only, but I'm just trying to give some information here, only to not to confuse in future. Yeah. And the other assumption what we made is there will be voltage drop across the switch during on state. Across switch during conduction stage. Conduction is on stage. Okay. During conduction, it has some voltage drop, which we will represent using some kind of VD plus R on resistance. On resistance will show. Okay, Rn is created only to create the drop and also loss also to create the switch loss in that. Okay, this we will represent using some VT drop and Rn. And the other assumption is the switch off to on is instantaneous. We will still continue to be the conduction state, like body state of conduction state is instantaneous, and on to off is not instantaneous. Okay, this is a fourth one, because this is because of existence of reverse recovery current and tailing currents. Okay, is that clear, all of you?
Yes.
So
Yes,
these are
yes, sir.
these are the few assumptions. We are ignoring it, and we try to do it the analysis for the same. Okay, so we'll do it in the next class. So anyway, just 1 minute past. So we'll do it in the next class. I hope you don't have any doubts still here. No doubts? Is that interesting or is that boring subject?
It's interesting.
It's getting interesting or it's getting boring? It will get more interesting if you go with the controls and other stuff also. When you do it in a lab also, it gets much interesting. But it will, I try to my best to do it much interesting way. Let's see that how it goes.
As you said, it is more challenging, sir.
Yeah, understanding is important. You need to see all those things are basically understandable if you know the basics well.
Yes,
But
sir.
I try to put some basic points wherever it is needed. I'm trying to give that information wherever it is needed to go to the BTech level and try to give the additional points wherever it is needed. But if I could not be able to establish the connection, you can ask me all the time so that I will try to put more stress on that.
Focus on it. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we will end here and we'll meet in the next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.